Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. Today, we are going to learn the complete summary of Ode to a Nightingale, written by John Keats. Ode to a Nightingale is one of the greatest poems written by John Keats. It was written in 1819 during the Romantic Age. The poem expresses the poet's deep emotions after listening to the beautiful song of a nightingale bird. Through this poem, Keats explores themes like beauty, imagination, nature, sadness, death, human suffering, and immortality. The poet feels unhappy with the painful realities of human life and becomes fascinated by the carefree happiness of the bird. As the poem progresses, he tries to escape from reality into the magical world of imagination and nature created by the nightingale's song. However, at the end, he returns to reality and feels confused about whether his experience was real or only a dream. Stanza 1 summary. The poem begins with the poet describing his strange emotional condition after hearing the sweet song of the nightingale. He says that his heart aches and he feels numb, as if he has taken some poisonous medicine or drunk a strong sleeping drug. His mind feels dull and sleepy. However, the poet clearly says that he is not jealous of the bird's happiness. Instead, he is extremely happy for the nightingale because the bird sings joyfully and freely in the forest. The nightingale lives in a beautiful natural world among green trees and flowers. Its happiness appears pure and eternal. The poet admires the bird because it seems untouched by pain, suffering, and worries that trouble human beings. The nightingale sings naturally, without fear or sadness. Stanza 2 summary. The poet now wishes for a cup of old wine cooled deep inside the earth. He imagines drinking wine filled with the taste and freshness of nature, flowers, dance, and sunlight. He believes wine could help him leave the real world behind and join the happy world of the nightingale. The poet wants to escape from the difficulties of human life. The bird's world seems peaceful and joyful, while human life is full of sadness and pain. By drinking wine, he hopes to forget all worldly troubles and disappear into the forest with the bird. Stanza 3 summary. In this stanza, the poet explains why he wants to leave the human world. He describes life on earth as painful and full of suffering. Human beings grow tired, weak, and old. Diseases destroy health and beauty. Young people lose their happiness and die early. Beauty does not remain forever, and love also fades with time. The poet says that life is filled with worry, sadness, disappointment, and hopelessness. Every person must experience pain, aging, and death. Compared to this unhappy human condition, the nightingale's life appears peaceful and free. The nightingale does not worry about old age, sickness, or death. Therefore, the poet strongly wishes to leave the world of human suffering behind. Stanza 4 summary. The poet changes his mind about using wine for escape. Instead, he decides to use imagination and poetry to fly into the nightingale's world. He says that he will fly not with the help of alcohol, but with the invisible wings of imagination.
The poet imagines himself moving into the forest where the nightingale sings. Although the night is dark and there is no moonlight, the poet feels guided by the beauty of the bird's song. His imagination creates a dreamlike world filled with mystery and beauty. The poet enters a spiritual and imaginative state where he forgets the real world completely. Stanza 5 Summary. The poet now sits in darkness inside the forest. He cannot clearly see the flowers and plants around him because the night is dark. However, through smell and imagination, he identifies different flowers and trees. He describes the sweet fragrance of hawthorn flowers, violets, musk roses, and green plants. The atmosphere feels peaceful, soft, and magical. The poet enjoys the beauty of nature through his senses. This stanza creates rich natural imagery and shows the poet's deep connection with the natural world. Nature appears calm, beautiful, and comforting compared to human life.
Stanza 6 Summary. As the poet continues listening to the nightingale's song, thoughts of death enter his mind. He says that he has often thought about death before, but now death seems especially attractive and peaceful. The poet feels that dying at this beautiful moment while listening to the bird's sweet song would be wonderful. If he dies now, he would die happily, without pain. However, he realizes that after his death, the bird would continue singing. This thought makes him aware of the difference between mortal humans and the seemingly immortal nightingale. Human beings die, but the beauty of nature continues forever. Stanza 7 Summary. The poet now calls the nightingale immortal. He does not mean that the actual bird can never die. Instead, he means that the bird's song is eternal because it has been heard by people throughout history. The same type of song that he hears today was also heard by kings, emperors, ordinary people, and ancient civilizations long ago. The bird's music connects different generations across time. The poet remembers the biblical character Ruth, who felt lonely and sad while living in a foreign land. He imagines that Ruth may also have heard the song of a nightingale while crying in homesickness. He also imagines magical lands and ancient castles where lonely people listened to the same beautiful music. Stanza 8 Summary. In the final stanza, the magical experience slowly ends. The word forlorn suddenly brings the poet back to reality. The bird flies away, and its song becomes weaker and weaker until it disappears completely. The poet feels confused and emotionally empty after returning from the imaginative world. He wonders whether the entire experience was real or only a dream created by his imagination. The poem ends with uncertainty. The poet asks himself whether he is awake or asleep because the experience felt both real and unreal.